Frank Skinner.
Radio.
Hello and welcome to Not the Weekend podcast. I'm Frank Skinner, and I'm with Emily and Gareth.
Hi, Frank.
Hello.
Hello. And that's lovely.
Well, never mind that. I'd like to kick things off for a change.
Yeah, good.
It's all about me. It's not actually. It's about one of our lovely listeners. And he sent in an email. He's called Sean from Edinburgh. And he says, "Hi, Frank. I'm just listening to you talking about the fall." He must have sent this in during our show last week, actually.
Well, he could be listening to the podcast.
Well, that's true. Hi, Frank. I'm just listening to you talking about the fall and was wondering if you've abandoned all your old favourite artists. For example, I remember you talking about how you flew to Barcelona just to see a Ricky Martin concert. Do you still follow his career?
That is complete. I follow him even more avidly since he's come out. I admired that in his line of work. No, I went out with... It was in the period of my life when I went out with some women who were considerably younger than me.
Oh, I remember that.
I've got to be honest. When you sort of casually mention Slade and they just look at you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went out with a very nice woman called...
Don't
Lord.
say her name.
Oh, sorry. I went out with a very nice woman called...
Esmeralda.
And... she was a big Ricky fan.
Oh, dear.
She sounds like she's got some Latin roots. Esmeralda.
I think she did have Latin roots, actually. No, I come to think of it.
No, she had them done.
Well, you say that. So yeah, we went to... I took her to Barcelona as a special treat to see Ricky Martin. I remember he came on stage. There was like wrecked cars on stage, and he stood up on the top of them and sang Living La Vida Loca. He opened with the big hit, always a mistake.
I don't mind that, but it's no Shake a Boom Boom.
No. Well, there was, I think, later, if I remember rightly. Anyway, I remember there was a bit where he mimed tearing his heart out of his chest. He sort of twisted out as if he was having to break off the left and right ventricle joins. And then he held it in the palm of his hand as if it was there, and then he blew as if to blow his heart. Like he could blow, he had the strength to blow a piece of steaming offal into the audience. Wow. Ridiculous character all round.
That was very nice of you to take her over there.
That's me, big-hearted. Big-hearted Arthur, they call me.
Take ages to tear up your heart. It's so big.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's made of flint, which would also make it quite difficult. Speaking of the various parts of my anatomy, pause for tension. I went to the chiropodist this week.
Oh, did you?
Kathy the chiropodist, who I go to.
Oh, yeah.
And
why'd you give her a first name like it's Balamori or something?
I just think
Denny the doctor, Billy the butcher.
It's Kathy the chiropodist. I don't know why. I think I like the alliteration. The fact she's in Kennington makes it even better. Anyway, so I went there, and she said, "Oh, you've got a bit of an ostler's toe."
Wow.
Which is not what you want to hear, is it?
No.
And I was confused. First of all, I wasn't totally sure what an ostler is.
No, I have no idea what an ostler.
Ostler.
Oh.
An ostler.
I thought that was Birmingham Hustler.
No, an ostler is a stable person.
Right.
And what happens is that sometimes the horses would stand on their feet and the toe would go purple and crushed. And that's what I've got. A horse didn't stand on my foot. I want to make that clear.
No.
But, yes, I've got
a hoofed animal.
Pardon?
Another hoofed animal?
Yeah, another hoofed animal. I was in the middle of a pagan ritual at the time when this thing just suddenly manifested through smoke and swirling flame.
You're like Mr. Tumnus from Narnia.
You're like Mr. Tumnus.
No, you
I've
are.
often said that. I've ever said, do you ever think, doesn't Emily look like... Someone said to me, Emily, I like her. God, she looks like Mr. Tumnus. I said, I know, it's a weird thing.
No, they don't. They commented on my newly glowing skin.
Yes, you and your newly glowing skin. We're not going into that. We're not plugging your skin.
You don't have to. I pay my way in life.
Yeah.
Do I, hell?
So, I'll tell you what I was... I'm just having a scratch. I went to see...
I can hear it.
Can you hear me scratching? Listen. I went to see Krapp's Last Tape. You can say that because it's K-R-A-P-P. It's a Samuel Beckett play. And it's about a man, Mr. Krapp, we'll call him, and every birthday he records himself talking, just saying, it's been a funny old year and I met this woman and this happened and that happened. And then he keeps all these tapes. So, 20 years' time, he can listen to himself all those years back talking. It's an interesting idea. And I thought it's something I'm not much of a nostalgic person, but I occasionally come across my old self, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I found a diary that only had one entry in it on January the 1st. I think it was something like 1978.
What did it say? Bought new Ted.
No. It said, there can be no true love without the fear of losing.
Oh, thanks.
That was all it said in the entire diary.
Oh.
So I think...
Did you lose it?
I must have lost the diary.
Yeah.
Must have.
Must have been it.
But then, so I got a bit interested in this, and I realised there's a whole sort of web culture of people, messages to your younger self.
Oh, yeah. Because Stephen Fry did one that was quite famous, didn't he? He wrote a letter to his 16-year-old self. Because when he was younger, he wrote a letter to himself when he was older, saying, you'll have lost everything by the time you're old. This is who you truly are.
Oh, dear.
When you're young.
Dear. I thought he wrote a letter to his 16-year-old self that said, your face is not going to get any smaller. You might as well just get used to the idea. I think my message to my younger self would be, clean your teeth. I wish I'd done that. Now, what I'm left with now.
Because the trouble is, if you want to sort them out, I'm not suggesting you have to. I find your teeth very endearing. But if you want to sort them out...
Did she say they look like endearing again?
You're going to have to go down the Simon Cowell route, and I know you worry about that, don't you?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to be in the chair for 3 hours and pay £500,000 and have pearly white teeth. I couldn't bleach. If I put bleach on these teeth, they'd disintegrate.
Also, it would look weird.
I like to think there's an element of the Turin shroud about them. that kind of wasted element, the frayed and...
The doubt about whether they're original.
The doubt about whether they're real. I think a lot of people think I got them from some sort of joke shop. Yes, I'd say that. I think the other thing I'd say to my younger self is Elvis dyed his hair.
Oh.
Because I used to be obsessed with the fact that I was blonde and Elvis had got black hair and that I could never truly be like Elvis because of that. And then when I was about 40, I saw a picture of Elvis completely blonde and realised that he dyed his hair all those years.
Oh, yeah, he was quite fair.
So I'd aspired to something which didn't really exist, like a fall.
That's good advice. Do you want to know what I'd say?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes, we do.
Well, I'd say, Dear Emily, in 1987, a man called Dave will tell you he's just not ready for a relationship because he's got to concentrate on his biology A-level. He is lying, and so is every other man who tells you this.
Oh, dear.
That's what I'd say.
I thought you'd have been a great supplement to his biology. You
would have hoped.
Yeah.
No, but I just mean you have to learn that because you waste your time, you see, believing that.
But you can't. You're not saying that all men are liars. Is what you'd
I'm
say
not
to
saying
your
all men are
16-year-old.
lying, but what I'm saying is don't sort of believe the excuses. Better just to move on.
Maybe he's just not into you.
Well, exactly. He's just not that into you.
Well, as you know, I was hit by a car when I was about 15, 16, so my...
What do you say, as you know?
I didn't know that.
I've told you several times.
I'd assumed it, but I didn't know. I didn't know it as a fact.
No,
I thought you were snowplowed. No, I didn't know you were hit by. Have you mentioned this before?
Yeah, several times.
Okay.
But it's fine.
I did like the way you said, as you know.
Yeah.
Like Barack Obama. As you know, I was state senator for Illinois.
I thought I'd give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, well, no, I've completely forgot. I'm sorry. When were you hit by a car? How old?
About 14, 15, 16.
Okay.
It's hard to remember exactly.
So your message to yourself would be a sort of truncated version of the Green Cross Code.
Yeah. Watch out for that car.
I like the fact that you didn't say knock down, because that's quite an old-fashioned expression, isn't it? Knock down.
Yes.
I think the other thing I would say is make more of an effort to watch fantasy football. Even though you're not interested. Because I used to really like it, but I didn't know when it was on. And I didn't understand the football thing, but I still found it. And I just think
Nor did you understand the whole system of TV listings, it seems. Well, I looked up some sites. There's a lot of these note to younger self. This is some of the stuff I found. There's a woman speaking to her younger self. She did a top 10 of things. God knows I won't go through them all, but some of them were, it all works out. Completely untrue.
That's not
It's just
a bit
not
smug.
true, is it?
It's a bit smug.
Doesn't
as well,
all
I think.
work out. Some things never, ever work out.
Yeah.
What about this one, then? If your stomach hurts and you haven't got a virus, you're in a bad situation.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, Lou, I think that's based on the fact that a lot of people, I think including myself, their stress centre is in their stomach. So if they're pensive about something, that's where they always get it. But what a thing to say to your 16-year-old's going to say, shut up about stomachs, get lost.
How do you know if you've got
Who
a
are
virus
you,
as well?
old woman?
I was so too busy drinking cider and throwing it up. You don't care.
But my favourite was number 7. This is someone who has a unique opportunity to speak to their 16-year-old self. And how could that happen? But it happens by supernatural means. What does she say? She says, cut or potted flowers are never a waste of money.
Oh, my goodness.
What the dickens?
Your 16-year-old self would think you were an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. I noticed on the same page there's a link, this is absolutely true, 13 ways to use cucumbers.
Oh.
That's what I'd have said to my 16-year-old self. God,
I'd have said to my 16-year-old self, remember to pay florist. That's what I'd have said. Never mind with cut or potted flowers, for goodness sake.
Well, I don't think... There's too many important things to say to your 16-year-old self, that's all I think.
I think ours are better.
Yeah, I do as well. So, have you... how's your life
Oh,
been?
yeah, well, I've been hitting...
Emily's straight in.
Oh, yeah, I've been hitting the town.
Have you?
Well, I'll tell you where I was taken. A male friend of mine, he's actually, I should say, he's from a very old and distinguished family. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
The Tudors.
You don't think it was Henry VIII?
I wish. Anyway.
Was it a date? Are we talking a date?
No, he's a friend. He's a male friend. It's not that kind of thing. He's a really old friend of mine. He's one of those friends.
He
Borgias?
wishes it was more.
No, he doesn't.
One of the Borgias, maybe.
He doesn't. He's got a girlfriend and we just both
Cesare.
friends.
Cesare Borgia. I mean, he's a pope. What's he doing out on the town with Emily Dean?
So anyway, when you go out with my friend, you tend to go to very old-fashioned kind of, distinguished places. So he took me to this place called Aspinall's, which is a gambling club. It's a casino, but it's very posh people. When you walk in, there's a big bust of Lord Lucan in there, because he used to be friends with the owner.
Lord Lucan?
Yeah.
Surely a notorious character. Do you know, I once went house hunting and David Baddiel came with me, and I went to a house in Hampstead.
Yeah.
And we were looking round. It's a lovely house. And there was a picture of Lord Lucan, like a wedding picture. And he said to me, is that Lord... I went, shh, because the woman was showing us round. So it was a bit... And it suddenly became very apparent that she was a relative of Lord Lucan. And we went around, honestly, there was a picture of Lord Lucan in this woman, and Dave said, in front of the woman who lived there showing us around, is that the woman he killed?
No.
I mean, for goodness sake.
Oh, next thing
Anyway.
you know, he got the claw out.
So you were in Mecca Bingo. with,
No, you were in Mecca Bingo. I was in Aspinall's, love.
Right.
So...
I like the idea of urine, Mecca Bingo, where you have to mark your card with... Well, anyway.
Now, even though I present myself as posh, I'm not really. I'm quite white trash and aspiring.
Well,
So-
you're arts and crafts.
Well, I am.
We all are.
But when I went in there, I was very overwhelmed. I looked at the art and I said something which I'm not meant to say. I went, oh my God, are these originals? Because there are loads of Picassos and things there.
Wow.
I said, are these originals? And he looked at me a bit witheringly. He went, yes.
What, there's Picassos
Yeah.
hanging up in the casino?
Yes.
Goodness me.
So, anyway, when you...
Pablo Picasso.
Yes.
Okay.
There's millions of pounds worth of art there. Any art thieves listening, that's the place to head for.
Yeah, well, I'm straight for the Lucan bust.
When you go into the restaurant, Frank, because food there, they tend to just sign for it. They don't even pay for it because they spend so much on the tables that it's just the food's just a mere formality. I mean, it's like maybe a couple of £100. If you're going to spend a few grand on the tables, who cares about the
£2,000 on
bill?
the table.
brilliant.
You go
So
to IKEA. Get them for a couple of hundred.
Go to IKEA and then have dinner there for free.
Yeah.
Go to IKEA and say, have you got a sort of flat pack Lord Lucan bust I can put together at home? No, sorry, it's gone missing. Oh, has it? Peculiar.
So
It's a little
but it was
snatchy
so
conversation
old-fashioned.
there from my trip to IKEA. It's so old-fashioned.
It's so old-fashioned that when they brought me a menu over and I couldn't see any prices on it. You know, like a lady's menu.
Oh, a lady. Oh, God, I haven't seen one of those
Oh, I
for a
loved
long
it.
time.
But you know what I loved? And then when I ordered...
I don't like that. If someone's
I love
buying
it.
me a meal, I want to know how much money I'm... You know, I want to know what I'm getting.
Well,
How
I
much
said...
am I have to spend?
Well, I
That's what
said
you
that
think.
to my friend, and he said, I don't want you to worry about money. I don't want you to think, this is all on me, and that was nice.
And you said the lobster, please. You went, oh, God!
No, because he's a bit classier than you, Gareth.
Right.
And then the waiter comes over, and he takes my order from my friend. He doesn't look at me directly.
Wow.
Oh, I love it. I felt it was very
That's not
surrendered 1950s housewife. The whole evening is
superb.
how I felt, and I quite liked it.
Oh, no, don't get a habit for that, for
No,
being
but
the little
Frank,
woman.
I know. I wouldn't like to do
And
it.
remember, there's no such thing as a free meal. I'm saying,
I'd love that. I get very stressed about paying at dinners.
I've noticed that.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like casinos, so I went to a casino in Las Vegas, and
Yeah.
I went on the blackjack table,
Oh, yeah.
and it's pontoon basically, So I said, I'll have another card, please.
Twist.
And all these blokes went, oh, and I thought, that's my money. And then afterwards, I said, yeah, I know, I'll stick with that. Oh.
Why?
Did they give you a
Because they
review?
thought you were getting it wrong.
They all went away, and in the end, I was just playing on my own, and the banker was absolutely outraged, the sort of dealer bloke, because he wasn't getting his tips. And apparently, they don't like playing with amateurs.
Don't they?
I hate that.
It is stressful,
Not
though,
nice,
that
is
all this money gets put down, like, £1,000 or something, £500, and then they play this weird guessing game, and then it's gone. It's awful.
Oh no, it's an odd. Was the people in tuxedos and that, like when you see James Bond go gambling?
Well, no, but there was a Russian man next to me who was very Bond villain, and he
Yeah?
was giving me sidelong glances.
What are they?
I felt,
Cocktails. I'll have a sidelong glance, please. Easy on the Angosturers.
he was getting very angry. He was muttering to him. He was muttering to himself in Russian because he was losing money, thousands of pounds. It's a disgrace.
Was it Alexander Solzhenitsyn? Any chance? Okay. Well, it sounds horrible to me.
Really? Oh, no,
I
it was a
don't
lovely
like places
evening.
like that. I
Don't
like
you?
the whole idea of the woman's menu. This is
Yeah.
very odd, because people used to see me as a very laddish bloke, but
Yeah.
I find it sort of somewhat terrible about him ordering for you, like you're an imbecile.
But when it comes to paying the bill, that's when you decide you're not going to be
Exactly, I know what you
old-fashioned.
mean. You've sold out. That's what you've done. I still think you want to be careful.
Why? Of what?
Because you just don't take anyone out like that. You don't take a young woman out without thinking.
No, I don't think that's right.
There are many ways of gambling. Eh?
What do you think, Gareth?
I think he's in love with you.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean to pay, 200 quid for a meal? I know, yeah. I'd want my little reward. Well, speaking of dining out, in a fabulous way, I see that...
Refinement, decadence.
I was reading that one of the supermarkets, I can't remember which one now, they've introduced the Crisp Witch.
I think it's Asda.
Yeah.
Is it Asda? Oh, if I had change, I'd shake it. Yeah, the Crisp Witch, so what you get is 4 buttered slices of white bread and a packet of crisps.
Oh, I thought it was a witch that had already been burnt at the stake.
You rascal!
So it's 4 slices of buttered bread.
4 slices.
White
That's
bread.
a lot of carbs.
That was Sunday roast in your house, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
well, I'd tell you. Well, maybe if it was roast chicken flavour. I grew up on crisp sandwiches. I love it's brilliant, that difference in texture between the softness of the bread and the butter and the crunchiness of the crisps. Ketchup sandwiches as well was another big thing in our house.
Wow.
Do you know, I don't think I've ever had one.
Well,
A crisp sandwich. Well, I wouldn't have crisps by themselves as the main filling. If I had a packet of crisps and then maybe a ham sandwich, I'd maybe put the crisps in the sandwich as an extra. But I've never had just crisp sandwiches.
we'll try it.
Okay.
I'd recommend salt and vinegar. You need the stronger flavour, you see, because it's slightly dampened by the bread. My dad used to have fruitcake sandwiches.
What?
Yeah, well, he always said fruitcake was a bit too rich, so he used to put it on a sandwich. What? Yeah. My mum had lard sandwiches. Well, it's a different...
I bet you had tripe in your family.
You know, we weren't big on tripe,
Oh.
I must say. Something that I used to have meat pie sandwiches. I was very...
Basically, all you had was sandwiches.
Well, mainly.
Yeah.
As I got older, I got a bit more sophisticated. When I lived on my own and stuff, I remember I got a real penchant, which is one of those things that Clint Eastwood wore in Fistful of Dollars.
Very big for AW 2010.
Yeah, I hope so. And I had a real penchant for cheese and sprout sandwiches.
That is revolting.
So I'd boil a Brussels sprout and it melts the cheese, do you see? I mean, it's a lumpy sandwich, I have to be straight with you. It does look a bit like myxomatosis.
I don't like that. It's all gone a bit Keith. I don't like that.
Well, it was it. But I was very partial to that, I must say. Times have changed, I think you'll agree. You must eat something.
I have the odd strange thing, I suppose. I do.
Well, yeah, but, you know.
We'll keep this food behaved.
There was the terrible just whipped egg white revelation.
Oh,
quite
yeah.
a long
Gareth
time ago.
hates that I have whipped egg whites.
What is that? Is that like a meringue?
Yeah. So I just separate the egg and the yolk, and then I just have the whites, and I whisk them up, and I just put some sugar in it, and then I eat that.
And what do you do with the yolks, the discarded yolks?
Oh, they just go in the bin. I haven't
Well,
got time
you
for
don't
them.
throw yolks in the bin.
Oh, what would you keep them in a little dish with cling film over
I'd
it?
send them to the third world.
Oh, God.
They dream of watching a parachute slowly come down with a little crate full of yolks. Do you know they dream of that?
They'll be manky by the time they get there.
No, you can put in one of those refrigeration packs, what you'd put in a...
Okay.
You know, if you're going to the cricket for a day, that thing that keeps the cans cool. That'll get you to Namibia or...
I'd never had chip butty until I met you, though.
No.
I'd never eaten that, and then you
That's
made me eat
bizarre, isn't
Yeah.
it? That anyone could have got to your... yes. No, my mum used to drink a lot of... remember sterilised milk?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Do you know, it was in a thin
I know
neck
what
bottle.
that is, yeah.
I don't know what... It was a sort of a poor man's UHT, if you can
Yeah.
imagine such a thing. It was like white water.
Wow.
And you couldn't raft, if that's what you're going to ask
No.
me. But it kept forever. You can leave UHT in a cupboard as opposed to a fridge. Sterilised milk you could leave in your will. It lasted, it just never went off ever.
Yeah.
And in lemonade, and the other thing was Nesquik, but with water instead of milk.
Oh.
Oh, I love that Nesquik.
Have you tried it with water?
No.
Nasty. Cheaper. That's what it's all about. Speaking of delightful foods, I've become slightly fascinated with the notion of the sorbet relationship.
Oh, love a sorbet. Love a sorbet relationship.
This is because Kate Winslet's been pictured with her new beau.
Yes, she's got a new beau.
Not a new beau. And
She's been pictured with the Subo.
No, Nubo.
And because she broke up with Sam Mendes, because he couldn't be inspired by just one person anymore.
No.
That was his reasoning.
That was his reason. And,
Did he say he also had to concentrate on his biology A level?
I think you do. I've heard some names for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we should explain what a
yes,
sorbet
yeah.
relationship
Yeah, what is it?
It's a sort of palate cleanser, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, if you go to a posh restaurant, in between courses, sometimes you get a little sorbet.
Didn't you go out with a girl who was a palate cleanser in a factory?
What I did, I wonder what you was getting at there. For a second. How could he possibly known that the things you give away when you're relaxing after a radio show? I thought to myself, was that before the I got run over anecdote or after? Well, we'll never know. Yeah, so the idea is that so if you start off with soup, it takes away the flavour of the soup, cleanses the palate for the next course. I think the suggestion is, I don't know where they've got this from, that Kate Winslet's new beau, Louis, whatever he's called,
Spence. Louis
no, it's not Louis
Oh,
Spence.
okay.
He would be a palate cleanser, I think.
Oh, he's
agree.
annoying me now.
God,
Sorry.
I've cleansed a few palates in my time, I'll tell you that. But
Louis Dowler.
yeah, Louis Dowler.
He's very handsome. That's one thing that...
No, but the idea is just
Yeah.
there to cleanse her palate, and then she'll get a proper main course man.
Yes, but the problem with the sorbet relationship is when the sorbet starts thinking they're the main course. That's the trouble. Then they think they're the T-bone, and then it's all over.
Yes.
They've got to realise their limitations. Then you're okay.
It's like Craig Bellamy at Cardiff City. You know, he's not going to stay there.
Yeah. So is he in a sorbet relationship?
I just wanted to look at. He's in a sorbet relationship with Cardiff City.
I like that.
Yeah, he's not. He's going to go to another Premiership club. He's just there. He's just keeping his eye in.
That probably happens in football quite a lot.
But I mean, I don't see any reason why Kate and this stupid model.
Louis Spence.
Not Louis Spence.
How do you know he's stupid?
But
Just
look
because
at
he's
him.
handsome.
Exactly.
Look at me.
I wish I'd got Jerry Halliwell's look at me at my fingertips. I don't. No, he's not going to. I mean, it said in the paper they were inseparable. I saw that happen to two cats once.
Oh.
There's like a barb. There's a barb that kicks in, and you can't. I mean, in the end, you can hear tearing. I mean, forget about it. No, but when they talked about it, I thought I thought she was being cougar-esque. But he's the same age as her.
They're the
he?
same age.
Yeah, they're both 34.
But I tell you what, he ticks all the boxes necessary for a sorbet.
I've heard that, yeah.
It's the barb.
He ticks all the sorbet boxes.
Yes.
He's
Why?
handsome. Well, he looks young, even though we've now established he's not.
Well,
He dresses well. Got to be good arm candy, you see. Because part of the point of the sorbet is to show, look what you could have won
Yeah.
to the ex.
Yes.
That's the part of the point of the sorbet.
Yes. Look what you're missing, as I always say.
Yeah.
In that. Yeah, but the thing is with that, if you're Kate Winslett, do
Yeah.
you want to be going out with a very, very handsome man? Because surely, if people see them in the street, Kate Winslett, in her heart of hearts, wants people to be looking at Kate Winslett, not Louis Dowling. Who wants to look at Louis Dowling?
I still think Kate wins it out of the two of them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it makes you feel sick.
What that?
Frank, have you
terrible
ever had a
fun.
sorbet relationship?
Not deliberately.
No, but has it ended up being a sorbet?
Well,
what
I've
about,
had-
were you the sorbet ever?
I was a sorbet once, actually.
I think you were. I know when you were as
I went
well.
out with a nurse.
Oh, I don't. Oh.
And I remember she used to punch me on the arm and say, "You're mad, you are." Every time I made a joke, you can imagine I was black and blue, because I am in many ways a joke machine.
No, that was her
Maybe not
diagnosing
today.
you.
What, pardon?
That was her giving you a mental health check.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, she was a psychiatric nurse. Did I mention that? Well, I mean, she could have broken to me a bit more gently. Anyway, I found out, she split up with me quite early on. I found out that she'd been, obsessed with this man, and I was just there to cleanse the palate.
You were that palate cleanser.
Palates wanted, that's what the sign said outside, and I resented it. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I looked at the Kate Winslet story, and I looked at the readers' comments, and someone had just put, "Didn't take her long."
That's very Daily Mail reader, isn't it?
Poor Kate. I mean, when your feet are that big, you need company as a screen. Because then when you see a photo of them walking, you assume the toes are a third person walking behind. You don't imagine that.
Are they really that big, her feet?
She takes 9.5 English, 9.5 UK, 11.5 USA. She does. 9.5. I only take her 9. You couldn't push her over, Kate Winslet.
No. Not from behind.
Not from behind, no. From the if you pushed her over from the front,
Take you
as
with
she
her.
went, she'd take your armpits with her toes. You'd end up on top of Kate Winslet.
Get a nasty scrape.
Yeah, when she skis, she doesn't bother with the ski thing.
Just curls her toes.
Yeah. You should see her bow. It's fantastic. Knees completely straight. She's a lovely, don't get me wrong, she's a lovely woman, but enormous feet. And I saw an interview with her when she talked about her big feet. And she said the secret is never wear flats, because when you wear flats, people notice. I saw a picture of her out in New York with Louis Dowling.
Yeah.
She's wearing flats.
Oh.
So, all the old...
Apparently he's into that, though.
Is he? What, big feet? Oh, no. Yeah, she should go to Kathy from Kennington. That'd be it. Kathy would have to say, I'm going to have to shut the place down for the day.
It's going to take some time.
I'll do one before lunch,
Call out
have a break, have a shower, come back and do the other one.
Be like creating the mosaics or something.
Yeah.
Like the frieze on the Parthenon.
You know when there's a murder and you have to have a line of people.
You know when
walk
there's
across
a
field?
murder?
Yeah, when there's a
You
murder.
know when there's a murder, that common everyday occurrence.
When you've done a bad murder.
And they have to have the forensic people stand in a line on the field and walk across looking down. That's how they'd have to inspect her feet. Have to
Yeah.
get a line of...
Yeah, she'd be a good person. If it snowed she'd be a good person to invite round for a cup of tea, and she'd clear the path on her way up. But like I say, attractive woman, fine actress. I don't think anyone's denying that.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.